Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, My Fantasy League, and Maisie. Jada is here once again to give you exactly what you want, and that, of course, is more of me giving my thoughts and expert analysis. What I'm going to be doing today is breaking down the teams that are involved in my Dynasty Fantasy Football League, ranking the teams from worst to first in order of where I think they'll place, and a little bit more of the future as well. Of course, remember, this is my particular thoughts and expert analysis. It might not be correct. It might be way off. So if you're in the league, you're ranked. If you're not happy with your placement, you're more than welcome to share your thoughts and opinions. Again, I'm just going off of what I think and what I know about football. So let's get started. Number 12, the worst team as of right now would be the back-headed Bandits. Of course, this team was taken over from another team owner that didn't really do a good job, in my opinion. This team has a lot of holes, especially at quarterback, and today there was only one quarterback drafted with the 3 first-round picks that the team had. And this quarterback, we don't know what he'll do in the NFL. He's not starting as of now, and I don't think he will start this year at least. So there's lots of holes. Now, he did fill up with some holes in position player-wise, drafting the rookie New England Patriots running back, which in my opinion, that's not necessarily a good thing because we know the Patriots like to share the ball with a bunch of different people, especially at running back. So I wouldn't go that route, but hey, what do I know? And then this team does have a first-round pick in 2019. So it's going to be a lot of rebuilding for this team. I suspect this team may not win a game, maybe one game, and it's going to be a long road. But certainly improvements are in order. It's just one of those things you just have to stick with it and keep on going. So the back-headed Bandits at number 12. Moving along with the list, coming in at number 11, the 11th ranked team in this league, in my opinion, would be Ain't No Such Thing as Halfway Cooks. Now, this team is a decent team, definitely needs another starting quarterback or two, but there's a lot of people that are question marks on the team, a lot of guys that will score but won't be elite players, and in my opinion, this team needs to break it up. Get rid of everybody and start from fresh. It's got assets like Brandon Cooks and Devontae Freeman or Tevin Coleman. Those players should be traded to get younger players that are long-term keepers for this team. And of course, with one starting quarterback, Case Keenum, there's going to be some issues with this team. I'm not sure how they're going to pull it off, but it's not going to be a fun season. The team's not necessarily terrible by any means, but having only one quarterback is going to be treacherous for this team, and I suspect this team will finish second to last due to only having one quarterback and the number of random players that are on the team. Again, break it up, start over, or make a big trade, at least get some more picks, try to get a quarterback or two, and see what happens. So Ain't No Such Thing as Halfway Cooks coming in at number 11. Moving along with the list, the team that comes in at number 10 as the 10th best team in this league, in my opinion, would be Gringo Mandingo. Now, this team has some holes, especially at running back. They were addressed today with the first pick of the draft being Saquon Barkley. But in my opinion, this team still has a hole at quarterback. You have Andrew Luck. You have Jared Goff. Andrew Luck hasn't done anything in 2 years. People that think Andrew Luck's going to come back and be an elite player again, that's a huge if. And I have yet to believe that. I have to see him play a preseason game first to even think he'll actually be ready to play this season. So that's why I rank this team a little bit lower than some people rank this team. Gringo Mandingo coming in at number 10. We're already at number 9 in the list. The team that comes in at number 9 on this list would be Jizz Squad. Now, Jizz Squad had a major hole at quarterback. And I think it's safe to say that this team addressed that hole today, drafting 3 quarterbacks in the first round of the rookie draft today. It's got a good nucleus with players at positions like Odell Beckham Jr., Kareem Hunt. So this team is certainly on the rise. My opinion, though, this team is going to tank and finish in last place or second to last just due to the fact that the team owner can keep all the quarterbacks on the taxi squad, which I don't know if these quarterbacks will even play this year or not, but it certainly looks like a long year for Jizz squad. But certainly there is a good young nucleus in place with 3 young, solid quarterbacks, Kareem Hunt and Odell Beckham Jr. So Jizz squad certainly will do good in the future, especially with 4 first-round picks in 2019. So definitely things are on the rise for this team. It's not going to be a successful 2019 or 2018, but number 9 on the list regardless of that fact. Number 8 on this list would be Jurassic Watson. Yes, Jurassic Watson, which is my team. I have a lot of good players at different positions. There's just a question mark if my players are elite or not. Now, at quarterback, you've got Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. 2 studs, hopefully, with the third quarterback being Joe Flacco right now, which is a huge question mark. But hopefully that'll work out for me. Running back wise, lots of question marks. Lamar Miller, Deion Lewis. I did draft Rashard Penny, which will be good. And I do have Chris Carson on Seattle just in case. And I got Royce Freeman, who I think will be a stud on Denver eventually. It might take a few weeks, but I think Royce Freeman will be the starter on the Broncos. There's some question marks at receiver. Of course, I made a huge trade to acquire Tyreek Hill. And then there's a lot of decent players, but not spectacular players after that. So certainly wide receiver is a hole on this team, and I hope to address that next year in the draft or trade a couple of the guys that I don't need anymore for a potential stud at wide receiver. Tight end, hopefully David Njoku will do very good this year. I got 2 good kickers, which is always a good thing. And decent defensive player I wanted to address, but I didn't get a chance to address it in the draft. Hopefully my defensive players will stand out, but I think my defensive players are pretty weak at the moment. I do have 1 first-round pick next year, and might need to trade a few guys to acquire some more picks. I don't know. I'm kind of in the limbo stage. I'm not really sure where my team's going to go, but regardless of that fact, I think my team is the 8th best team in the league. The 7th best team in this league is owned by Plains, Trains, and Latinos. It's a good team, but it's a good win now team. There's a lot of players on this team that are aging, that if this team comes out of the gate struggling, I would start to clean house and get some youth on this team to compete for the long term. Because it's just like the Chicago Cubs, you want to build for a long-term future, not just a year or two. So players like A.J. Green, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, they're all old. They could do really good this year, but this team doesn't have any first-round picks next year, and I'm a little worried about that. So based on that fact, this team comes in at number 7. It's got some good players though, and it could be a playoff team, but I don't know. There's some ifs, and I'm not sure if that's going to work out. So Plains, Trains, and Latinos, number 7. The 6th best team in this league is the one and only. I think it's a good team. Just have some draft pick potential. Young, well, not necessarily young, but not old quarterbacks with Blake Bortles and Kirk Cousins. Leonard Fournette is always good. And then some decent receivers. I think this team will be better than what some expect. And that's why I put the team in the 6th place, just due to the pick that this team has, a first rounder 2019, and the not over the hill quarterbacks and a good solid running back in Leonard Fournette. So the one and only number 6. Well, we're getting closer and closer on this list. Now we're at the number 5 position, and the 5th best team, in my opinion, would be make Amari Carr great again. This team has a good, solid foundation at quarterback with David Carr and Dak Prescott, and then a bunch of guys that are decent at running back and wide receiver. But are they elite? I mean, scoring-wise, some of them could be considered that, but I think due to the fact that there's no elite players other than the guys that are old that I think will have down years like Shady McCoy, I would be worried about that fact and the fact that making Mari Carr great again has no first round pick to just get whomever they want. A second round pick, but not a first. So that's why I make Mari Carr great again, number 5. Okay, we're up to the final 3. So number 3 on this list would be Killer C. I think Killer C is a playoff team. No, actually, number 4 on this list. I take that back. So the final 4. I think Killer C is a playoff team. I like the quarterbacks that this team has with the old quarterbacks like Tom Brady, the almost old quarterback, and Alex Smith. And then you've got young quarterbacks like Mitchell Trubisky and Jimmy Garoppolo. So I like the quarterbacks on this team. I think Brady's going to have a bad year, and this will be his last year, or bad for Tom Brady's standards. So maybe look to trade Brady if you can right away. Get a first-round pick because you don't have any. I like the running back on this team, though, with I'm drawing a blank on what the running back is right now. That would be Todd Gurley, and, of course, Julio Jones at wide receiver. Some more depth at running back than wide receiver, but the wide receiver rookies could produce a lot with the Cowboys rookie wide receiver and the Broncos rookie wide receiver. And, of course, you have a backup running back like Corey Clement, who I think will be a good rookie this year, as well as Carlos Hyde, who I think is underrated and could be the beast for the Browns, even though they have other running backs in the fold. So Killer C, number 4, in my opinion, a playoff team based on what I see, although there's not any draft picks that are high, but who knows what will happen with that. All right, number 3 on the list, for real this time, would be Le'Veon Prayer. Good, solid team, going to be a playoff team. But I agree, like everybody else does, this team is one injury away from having this team go to a mediocre but still good team. Good quarterbacks, of course, with Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, Ben Roethlisberger. Good skill position players like Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown. Just the lack of picks would be worrisome on this team, and the depth at receiver and running back could be a bit better. Still, probably a playoff team, and potentially could be going for the championship if everything goes well. So Le'Veon a prayer, number 3. Number 2 on this list would be Alvin and the Chipmunks. Lots of depth on this team. Lots of 2019 first-round picks. Great quarterbacks in Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Cam Newton, just to name a few. Awesome running backs like Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. And then you, of course, have some wide receivers that are really good. Maybe not elite, but certainly good. But this team has 4 first-round picks to get the players that it needs from teams that are holding on to guys that they should just probably trade away to get younger and more skill. But certainly Alvin and Chipmunks coming in at number 2 on this list with the depth and the great elite players that it has. So that only leaves one team remaining. The best team in this league, in my opinion, would be R.I.P. Chuck. Interesting team name, one of the lamer team names besides the backhanded bastards, or backhanded bandits, I'm sorry. But this team is stacked. You have 4 quarterbacks that scored over 200 points last year. Matthew Stafford, Tyrod Taylor, just to name a few. Matt Ryan. You have an elite running back like Melvin Gordon. And then you have David Johnson, who was acquired in the offseason, who should come back to elite status, we think. Receiving-wise, you don't have elite receivers, but certainly there's some guys that could be, like DJ Moore, who went to Carolina. I mean, who else are they going to throw the ball to? Funchess. And then, of course, you have potentially a full season from Josh Gordon. We don't know if he's going to get suspended for drug charges again. Probably will. He always does. So this team is stacked. No first-round picks to trade if the team needs to fill a hole, but I suspect this team will do just fine. So there you have it. That's my top 12 teams in this Dynasty Fantasy Football League. Let's recap just in case we weren't paying attention. Number 12, the backhanded bandits. Number 11, ain't no such thing like halfway cooks. Number 10, Ringo Mandingo. Number 9, just squad or Jizz. Yes, Jizz Squad. Number 8, Jurassic Watson. Number 7, Planes, Trains, and Latinos. Number 6, the one and only. Number 5, Make Amari Carr Great Again. Number 4, Killer C. Number 3, Le'Veon Prayer. Number 2, Alvin and the Chipmunks. And the number 1 team, RIP Chuck. So, hope you all enjoyed the video. I know I kind of cut in and out of things because I wanted to give as much information but as in as little time as possible. Of course, if you're offended by this, my apologies. I'm just trying to give my expert analysis and thoughts based on information that I know. And yeah, leave a comment. If I'm completely off, well, I get it. I might be. So, later.